I'm HybridFoxKid and welcome back to the Blocks SMP. Today we are inside the base once again because I want to get all of the large buildings in this base officially complete. So as you can see behind me, we have a blueprint just over here as well as a couple small blueprints just over this way, and there will be something added over here a little bit later on, but for now I want to aim my focus towards this thing here. So what I'm planning for this one to be like a viewing tower, because as I've said before, this place is very much a tourist town, and what will be appearing over there will explain why this thing is in this particular area of the base all the way out the back instead of being like up close in this area where most of the people will be hanging around. But before I start yammering too much, let's go into a time lapse and build this up, and this one is going to be a very, very, very tall building. But yeah, no time like the present, let's jump into a time lapse and get it started. So, with the time-lapse finished, the basic outline of the observation tower is done, and now all we need to do is decorate it a little bit more. So, this tower has no interior whatsoever. It's going to be all completely outside because it's just a tower. How interesting can you make the inside? So, what I'm going to do is we're going to do a little bit of extra decorating just to make this one pop a tiny bit more. So, the first thing I want to do is actually add a bell to the top of the roof here, like all the way over there, all the way over there. Bells have kind of been a returning motif throughout my base. I got that idea off of Mario Sunshine, and I thought with this being an ocean base and with wind being relatively prominent in the ocean, it'd be nice to have like bells all over the place. I'd never really acknowledged them, but I have put a few throughout the base. So yeah, let's chuck a bell on top of this one, which shouldn't be too hard. I just totally messed up this. I'm probably gonna have to tear down the roof and do it all again. The joys of not remembering a build idea than doing it after the time lapse, but I've started now, so I might as well get it done. Okay, so I've added the bell and the building's already looking a little bit more interesting. Now, another thing I need to do is actually add access to this area up here. And since I'm leaving this building mainly on the outside, I think I'm going to have an outside staircase rolling all the way up and around the outside of this building. So it's going to be a very long staircase, and I'm sitting there debating if I should build it out of diorite or the quartz that I do have up here. Maybe I might go with the diorite purely because one, quartz is very expensive, and two, it kind of matches the floor a little bit more. So yeah, let's try with the diorite. If it doesn't look good, then we'll go with quartz. So this one's going to take a while. We've got a lot of stairs to build. There we go. After a little bit of work, the observation tower is done. I have fully finished the stairwell, and I did end up trying to use quartz, but it didn't end up looking very nice. It was too much plain blank color on blank color. So I decided with a little bit more of a noisy texture, it would kind of make it pop just a little bit more, which it definitely does, and I do really like it. My only problem I had with building the actual staircase itself, since it's essentially hugging the wall, I had problems like this. If I can find it. Okay, maybe it's not a problem because I can't find an example. Oh, it's somewhere up here. There's the example. Essentially, I couldn't put the trapdoors on some of the lights, so I've just left it like that. Honestly, I ran past like 3 of them, so I don't think it's going to be much of a problem. There's just the occasional one that's looking blank, but in the end of the day, it's not really going to faze me too much. But with that being said, this area is all complete. I do want to leave this part relatively empty, purely so you can look out at more different spaces on the base. To be fair, one side of the base isn't as interesting as the other. But that is the observatory tower all finished and completed, and that means we can move on to another build in today's episode. So I've already moved my little build station over to this section, and these are going to be very small little watchtowers. Well, they're just going to be glorified towers. There's going to be, again, no interior. This is just going to be a little added piece for the massive area that's going to be here. So let's get these built up nice and fast. Then we can worry about this section here, which will be a bridge. So yeah, might as well make the bridge as well. So towers, bridge, gonna be done in just a jiff. So I finished off the 2 little houses next to the bridge, and there's nothing special with them. They're just there to pretty much break up all the monotony that is just blank space. So over this bridge here, I've already done a design of what this area is going to look like. And if you think you've seen this design before, you definitely have, because this is the exact same design I have all the way over in my creeper farm back in like episode 2 or so. So I've done the outside ring, and then the inside ring is going to be a little bit different. So this is going to take a little bit of work, and I think the best way to do it is to throw us into a second time lapse of the day, then I'll explain its features in just a jiff. So with the time lapse done, this area is very close to being finished. There is one more final touch I want to add to it, but I wasn't too sure if it would look good or not. So we're going to test it now, see if it looks good, and if it doesn't, this is going to be the end result. So essentially a plan for this area was going to be have a ring of water all the way around the side, but I genuinely don't know how that's going to look. So let's give it a test with 4 buckets and see if we'll actually look okay. If this does look okay, I'm going to have to do a lot of water buckets. But yeah, let's test it out and see if it looks good. I might have to do this on a bit of a larger scale to see, but it doesn't look bad. Yeah, let's go all the way to there, see what it looks like with all of this area filled out. Okay, so I'm genuinely unsure of if I like it or not. Maybe I have to do it on an even bigger scale just to gauge it. Because that was the one problem I was finding with this, is if I fly all the way out here, it looks very bland from this section and this back area as well. So what I might do is I might fully fill it out and then we'll have a gauge from there. So I finished flooding the outside ring and I think I do really like it. Yeah, it definitely breaks up that very, very large amount of white. So what I need to do now is do all of this interior part of the ring, and this part of the build should be done. After dumping about 100 buckets of water, this part is completely filled with water and I do really like it. And from here you can see the very subtle swirl that I made with the glass. I do kind of like it. So this here was a good opportunity to show why I put the watchtower here. It's to get a good view of this, because in this town, this area here is very, very significant. So this is where all the people of this town come and communicate with the hippocampus. Pretty much the hippocampus is all the water in the entire area, but this is the one place where the hippocampus tends to watch the most. So if people need anything, they come here and they can talk to the hippocampus and the hippocampus will help them. So essentially it's a little area where they can essentially talk to the god of this region, and I do really like how I designed it because it is a throwback to my creeper farm and my guardian farm, because I was originally going to do like a giant chapel, but I felt that having it enclosed in a giant building wasn't going to really make sense for a very water-based area. So I thought have it be open to the elements, and yeah, I think I actually like with the way I went with that. So this area is officially complete and this tower is officially complete, which means most of the large buildings in this base are officially complete. So the only thing we really need to do now is get a whole bunch of small buildings and fill out all of this empty area. So I think the first place I want to deal with today is this area over here. We did this a couple episodes ago, but yeah, I think since I have it half done with these monsters here, might as well finish off the entire place. So I was thinking with this particular area, since it already has the crystal shop and then the Hunters Guild as well, this is a very commercial area of the entire base. So I was thinking nothing better to do than to add a bunch of market stalls. I know, you can't keep me away from market stalls, I love them too much. So I think I'm gonna go with my trusty old usual design and plonk a bunch of them around this area. I think I'm gonna pop down the lower half and just gauge whereabouts all of them are gonna sit, and then we'll think about decorating them a little bit later. Okay, so I placed down all the logs of where the stalls are going to go. I know at the moment it looks very confusing, but trust me, I have a process. The one thing I did notice is when I was drawing up the sketch for this area, I forgot that this was here, so I'm going to have to move these doors to this side and kind of completely rotate this little building because, yeah, that's a little bit too close for comfort with this. So yeah, expect that to be moved in the next shot or so. But yeah, I think I'm going to get down to work, pop up all of these market stalls, and yeah, we'll get to the decorating point in just a jiff. Okay, so I've finished all of the awnings for all of our market stalls, and as you can see, we have a little bit more color in the base. I really didn't want to go for any warm colors. Greens also didn't fit as well, so I decided to go for some blacks and darker colors as well, just to split up the amount of blue we have working here. So this is the overall design of what the market stalls are going to look like, and as you can see, I already have blocks placed in each of the areas where all the different blocks are going to be. So essentially, each market stall is specializing in the single thing. So yeah, let's get one set up and show off what it's going to look like before I start getting down to all the rest of them. So since it's the closest, let's do the gold one, and I genuinely don't know what I should do here. Should I just like stack it up like this, make it look fancy? I'll probably make a couple micro blocks, something a little bit like this as well, and I can utilize frames as well, so we'll just do that one as well. And since this is a 360 market stall, I should do it on the other side as well. We'll add a light there as well, just to add a little bit of color to this area, and there we go. I think that's what I'm going to make the market stalls look like. Maybe spread it out a little bit more this way as well to really fill this area out, because there is a lot of empty space. So the more we fill it up, the better it's going to look. And I also decided to chuck a little chest down here because they look like little tills. It's very cute, a little cash register. I absolutely love it. So with that being said, I need to do all of these other market stalls as well. And as you can see, I've tried to separate them. So these are all like minerals and gems and all stuff like that. And this is all monster related drops and stuff like that. I tried to go for a block form with like a loose form as well. Some I could do better than others. So I have all of that stuff, which is easy. My biggest hiccup was the wither skeletons. Honestly, I genuinely did not know what to put here. I completely ran out of options, so you know what? Wither skeletons and beacons are gonna have to do. So yeah, if I find anything different and replace it, don't be surprised. So I'm gonna get down to work, do about 10 more stalls. I think that's how many's here, haven't counted, but you know what? I'll be back in just a jiff when it's all done. So after a little bit of work, I placed all of the items in each of the market stalls, and this place is already looking a lot livelier than it was previously. And as you can also see, I've added a couple flags as well, again, just to add some verticality. And I do really like how this place turned out. I really like this part of the base so far. It just feels so full and I really do like it. And to be completely honest, I think I'm finished with this particular part of the base as well. All the buildings are officially complete, all of the outside has been relatively decorated, and there's not really a boring spot in this area. I've added a whole bunch of different trees, I've added little benches everywhere, as well as larger trees as well when there's a dedicated space. Oh, flags too. There's a couple of flags here and there now. So yeah, I think I can officially cross this area off the list, and we've only got a couple more areas to go. So with this area being done, I want to go and do one more area for today. So I think what I'm going to do is focus on this little part here. It's considerably smaller than all the others, and I don't imagine it's going to take too much time. So as you can see, this holds our iron farm as well as our smithy area, so all metals and stuff like that. But since I've pretty much done all of the metals that are all the way over in the market stalls, like the emerald, the iron, the gold, it's all down there, and I don't want to be repeating that. So maybe we'll lean into more of the iron golem motif and go with flowers. Why don't we make this part just a cute little flower market? I'm really diving in and going full force with like the outdoor market motif, aren't I? I don't know, but I like it. So yeah, let's add a bunch of flowers to this place. I don't know if I should plant them or have them in pots and just display them around. I'll try it out, we'll see. Here's a good question though. How many flowers do I actually have in my storage system? I know I have a lot of roses. I don't even know how many that is. How many flowers are there in this game? Okay, so this is all I have. Turns out I'm missing about 5 or 6. I don't have allium, don't have any of the tulips, and I don't have any of the blue orchids. So I'm gonna decorate out there as well as getting all of the rest of the flowers, and then I'll be back. So I placed down a whole bunch of blocks that can work as flower beds, and if my math is correct, I have enough for every single flower in my inventory. So I've gathered all the flowers and I've chucked them over here. I decided not to use wither roses purely because wither roses take a while to farm, but I do have a plan for how I want these laid out. So it's quite simple. All of the really small flowers are gonna go in pots like this, and all of the too tall flowers are gonna go in this little ditch here. And I think that doesn't look half bad. So there's enough of these little areas around to warrant 2 of these around the base and 1 of each of these. So yeah, I'm gonna get down and place a whole bunch of flowers, and we'll be back when this place is in full bloom. Okay, so I'm back. I've planted every single flower, and already I can say this is probably the most colorful part of my base. There are so many different colors going on, which I really do like, because I like the small pop of colors absolutely everywhere. But with that being said, I'm pretty sure this area is relatively complete. It's filled out enough. I added a couple extra flags, as well as a little bit more decoration around the building of the smithy area. And yeah, I think I do like how this one turned out as well. But there are still plenty of areas that need to be decorated, so let's move on to another one. So the next area I'm going to be decorating today is this big chunk of land here that I've honestly been neglecting for the longest time. I think I haven't been back here for about maybe 15 episodes or so. So yeah, let's officially decorate this area and make it feel a little bit more lived in. So my idea for this place is going to be a water source. This is where all the people in this town get their fresh water from, the hippocampus. Because again, giant sentient water can separate the salt from the water. So this is all going to be a fresh water fountain. So there's no better way to do that than in a wishing well. So let's grab a whole bunch of materials and get this cute little well set up. So I've gone ahead and built up the wall, and I think it's to a stage now where I actually really like it. The last thing I need to do is add in the water and then the little pitcher to actually pick up the water as well. As I was building, I genuinely have no idea what to put in this spot, so I'm going to be troubleshooting just for a little while, trying to pick the perfect item that's going to represent a bucket. So the only thing I need to do now is fix up the side and get the water in. Okay, there's our little well done, and yeah, again, we need to find something for a bucket. Honestly, I don't see anything that would work. My only guess is maybe an iron block micro block. Let's try that one. It does look a little bit bucket-like, so maybe if we're lucky, it might look good. Oh, that's just not going to work. So I think this might require the assistance of an armor stand. Okay, there we go. I got it into place. The only thing I need need to do now is lock the armor stand. If we suspend our disbelief just for a little bit, it's a bucket, it works. I kind of like it, but with that means our well is all finished. Now all I need to do is decorate around this area. I think I'm going to do the exact same thing I did with my fountain over here. Just outline it with some coral, make it look pretty, and then I add a whole bunch of flags around as well, because these are supposed to be a returning motif. It just took me so long to get these ones in place that I just never put them anywhere. So yeah, let's chuck down some flags, let's chuck down a little circular area here and see what it looks like in just a jiff. Okay, so I'm back. I fully decorated the well, added these little garden beds, and added a couple flags around this area as well. And I think I can say this section of this part is officially complete. And yes, I changed the roof of the well. I could never stick to one plan and just go with it. I had to change it. It looked weird just being the dark prismarine, but it's changed now, and I swear I won't touch it again. Maybe. If it changes again, don't be surprised. But with this section being done, I want to move on to this area over here and get this area filled out a little bit as well. And pretty much the only design idea I had was essentially just to chuck wood absolutely everywhere. So I was thinking of the idea of just like laying them down like this and then just having some rails tie them down. Okay, so I think that's the perfect amount of log. It ties in with this build perfectly, which is pretty much what I want to try and do with all these outdoor areas, and it also kind of alludes to the designated path in the base. So what I've been trying to do is keep open pathways clear, so there is a clear pathway just through here and a clear pathway here as well. The entire floor is just diorite, and I'm too late in the season now to warrant like a pathway block. So yeah, we're just sticking with the diorite, and I think placing obstacles in the way will create like an illusion of a pathway. I hope it's coming out that way. If it's not, too bad. That's what I've done. But yeah, I think I like this how it is, and I don't think I want to clutter this area anymore. Yeah, I think I kind of want to leave it as is. So this area is finished. This area is finished. Now we just need to deal with this area. And unlike the logs, I genuinely have no idea what to put here. So I finally had an idea for this area, and I've already built it out, but I'm not too sure if it's a dead giveaway of what it is. So essentially the idea of this area is a little cart hire. So these are little cart that you can sit in and adventure around the town in, and it can either be pulled by a person or a horse. Currently, as you can see, I do not have any horses, so that's going to change in just a second. Yeah, let's go grab a couple horses and then we'll chuck them here. You thought I was going to go a season without collecting horses. Well, you were wrong. Every season I must collect a bunch of horses. So it's going to be a little bit difficult with the way I'm laid out, but hopefully they're not going to be as difficult as foxes. So yeah, let's go grab a couple and let's see if I can grab some without some collateral damage. Okay, so I have my very first horse on me, and I'm going to hope that we can make it through the nether portal without getting crushed, because it is only a 1x3. So me and nether portals with horses have never been a good mixture, so let's try it anyway and see if we die. Okay. Oh, come on horse, you got this. I believe in you. Please get out of there, get out of there. Come on horse. Oh, whoa, that was way too close for comfort. Oh, he nearly died. Okay, can I feed you my carrot? Does that make you feel better? I hope that does. There we go. Are you fully healed? Okay, beautiful. The horse is fully healed. We are fine. We just need to get him down there, which I don't think it should be too difficult. He should survive that. Oh, beautiful. Okay. We have the horse in the base, not to panic. So yeah, I'm gonna go drop this horse off, go grab like a couple more, and then we'll be back in a jiff. Okay, so I've added 3 horses to this area, and I think I kind of like my little chariot hire area. It's really cute. I love the movement the horses add. It makes the base feel a little bit more alive. And as I said before, I collect horses all the time in this game, like I do a lot of pets. And surprisingly enough, I haven't collected one of my pets that I have in every single season so far, which is my grey horse named Kai. I have every other pet I have in every other season except for my horse. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and breed these two and hope to get a grey horse with socks, because if that's so, I'm going to get a mini Kai. I think, no, the socks are too long. You are not a mini Kai. I'll keep breeding these two until I get Kai, and then I'll pop her over by my base and decorate that a little bit more. I'm going to also have to fix up the horses because they're absolutely everywhere. But I think with that, I'm going to leave this episode here, and in the next episode, we are going to do a little bit more work on the base and hopefully get it all done. We'll have to wait and see though, but between episodes I might throw a couple of these around the base just to fill it out a little bit more and add a little bit more detail and more movement with, of course, more horses. But yes, I think with that I'm gonna leave this episode here. If you guys liked the video, give the video a thumbs up and maybe subscribe if you want to stick around, or gonna see you guys next time. See ya!